Welcome to a new video on my channel. Today there's another update video on various altcoins. There will be trading setups. We'll also take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, or rather also at the altcoins liquidation heat map. Because there is still a confluence on Bitcoin right now. Unfortunately, I have to say, as you can see here in the 1 month liquidation heat map, there is still an incredible amount of liquidity lying around the $107,000 to $106,500 range. And that would also match up with the large whale orders, going down to 106,938. Exactly in this area, as you can see here, 107,200 and a bit below that, there are about 20 to 30 million US dollars waiting for a long position. Accordingly, I have also joined in on Bitcoin with a long order at 106,800 for Bitcoin. But I also already have some positions open here, which we will go through. You can see Bitcoin is currently in the red. I would only scale that position. Let's go through the Bitcoin trade. Link is still in profit. Ethereum, minimal in the red. I'll show you that in a moment as well. And with Astra, I entered a new trade, this one right here. Unfortunately, I didn't share it with you, my dear ones, and I'm sorry about that. But I just happened to see the opportunity while traveling here in Thailand, opened my smartphone, saw there was a chance and jumped in. But I do my best to share my updates with you as much as possible, and that's why we're making this video now. With this Astra trade at this point, I'm not entirely optimistic yet, I have to be honest. Why? If I use the Fibonacci here now, overall we're still in a bullish structure. We can say what we want, because if I include it like this, we're simply making higher highs and higher lows. But at this point, we haven't managed to make further progress here. Instead, we've had a double rejection here. Now I want to show you how simple it is to identify this with my trading strategy, which I show you in every one of my videos. Where did this rejection occur? And if I now go from this high to this low here, you can see that the exact rejection happened up here again at the 0.618 Fibonacci, and currently we're on the way down. But for me, that's not a problem at the moment because the stop loss has already been set to break even, so I can't lose anything now. Unfortunately, I didn't take any profits here, which means in this case, I'm more or less hoping that this position will go up again. We're here on the 4-hour chart, and my take profit was actually reached. If we look at all of this on the 15-minute chart, we have the opportunity here. Because we've broken this downtrend again. You can also see it very clearly with a retest. Now we're in a consolidation, but maybe I need to take a quick look. We have the possibility here. The 0.786 hasn't even quite been reached. I actually thought we had triggered the 0.786 here, but that wasn't the case. But let's leave it at that for now, since the trade is already open. Let's move on to other things. Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, it's still the case that the setup I actually wanted hasn't really played out, despite this possible bullish trend in a smaller time frame. We're down here at the 0.786, and you can see again just how precisely the price is reacting here over and over. And at the moment, I still see this as support, but in comparison or in connection with the liquidation heat map down here in this area, and what I mentioned earlier, the whale orders, the large orders that are all sitting right in this price range, I will scale my position accordingly. And that's exactly what is open here, which I showed earlier. This Bitcoin position, which is currently a bit in the red, will then be scaled so that I can lower my average entry price further in the hope that we will then see a reversal to the upside. However, that would mean that the setup, as it is shown here, doesn't quite work out, and that this area here, which we can see as a demand zone, is our last possible support. And if we continue to move further down here, then we have a real bearish structure would be active, and that shouldn't be ignored. I hope that this doesn't get triggered. I'm telling you how it is, because we would then make further lower retracements here. And of course, nobody wants that. It would also match up with this short trade that I entered here at 0.681. I closed it a bit earlier than here, so I could have taken more profit, but that's the current situation. I'm still in my long position at the moment. What we also saw, because I shared it, is that I entered another long at 0.618 here. We were already in the red, but now we're back in profit. What bothers me a bit here is that on the 4-hour chart, we're below the 200 MA and EMA. And that's not exactly nice to see that we're below them here. There's a possibility that we could get a retest upwards here. That makes me a bit nervous. Let's say we just get a retest here and then continue to move further down. If we apply the bearish Fibonacci here, since we've now made a lower low, if that's the case, we can see that depending on where the price goes, we could get a retest at either the 0.5 or up to the 0.86 level at the EMA or SMA. And I would actually take this short setup because I also have a small short setup on Bitcoin. Maybe I won't forget to share that later. Otherwise, we still have another trade open, which is the CRO trade, the CRO token. You can also see it below the EMA 200 on the 4-hour chart, which doesn't look so great, but we did reach this entry. Maybe you were there during the live stream when I said that we just barely missed it, and I was a bit annoyed because I set my entry a little too low, but in this case it turned out well because the entry here is a bit lower again. That doesn't necessarily mean that this will immediately be positive. It doesn't have to be, especially if the whole market continues to drop. I said that we still have a fair value gap here, which we could enter. That means I might even scale my open position all the way at the bottom here. Where is the CRO? I have it open on Bitcoin. Sorry. I have it open on Bitcoin, as you can see here. It's currently at a slight loss. Also not a problem. But I would actually scale this trade again down here in this area, because I would continue to average down my entry price. And if that holds and the stop loss doesn't get triggered, then I have a better chance to secure my position earlier. If we get down here, if I enter at these lower levels right here, maybe a bit lower, I'll approach it that way. Then even with a doubled position, I would only take a slightly bigger loss, which I would accept. What else has happened? Link is still open as well, minimal profit. Let's go back to Bitunix as we can see here. This is Litecoin here with the Link trade. The Link trade is slightly in profit, so at the moment it's almost break even everywhere. I still have an Ethereum position open here that's a bit in the red. This is a different one than the one I showed you earlier. Then we also have Litecoin, which is still open as well and is also slightly in the red, as you can see here, but that's not too bad yet. We have our stop loss and we have another entry at 0.681. The only one that unfortunately hit the stop loss, I shared this on Telegram, was Dogecoin, but it really hit it on point. I was actually pretty annoyed when I saw that it hit the stop loss exactly at that point and then went back up. That's just how it is. What I'll do now, maybe when I'm in a new hotel, is see if I can take advantage of these further small short opportunities here. As you can see here, just to show a small example, we've repeatedly had new short opportunities in this area, 0.5 entry, take profit. The same thing, if I drag this down here now, I would see that we have another small entry here, which hasn't quite been reached yet. No, sorry, but maybe again at the 0.5 level and then a bit down again. Unfortunately, I haven't taken advantage of all these short trades that are currently possible because once again, exactly when I'm traveling on a plane or on the go, there's endless, incredible volatility in the market. And last time it was actually the exact opposite because the whole market pumped then. And otherwise, I think there are no open trades left at the moment. I had marked one somewhere at the long position. I'll just quickly remove this here. It was triggered, but I didn't have a position. I just remember we did that together during the live stream. It actually happened right on point. And guys, with entries like these, no one can convince me that these are really just coincidences. Just take a look at where the price went, exactly at the 0.5 Fibonacci level. And for everyone who doesn't know my videos yet, I didn't set this up by myself. If you don't know how this works, make sure to check out my channel and watch my third most popular video, the easiest trading strategy you're not using yet. I can really recommend it to you. Then you'll also see how I place all my entries. By the way, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like and subscribed if you haven't already. We're about to hit 15,400 subscribers. Let's also take a look at the Ethereum liquidation heat map to see if anything new has happened there. That's still important, but let's stay with Ethereum for a moment. You can see the Ethereum liquidation heat map here. Basically, everything that could be taken has already been taken. And even if we look further up, over the past 3 months, Ethereum has nothing left beneath it. That's why I would now slowly expect that we'll see a reversal. I'll show you why in a moment, because as it looks right now, we are gradually forming a bullish divergence with Bitcoin, Ethereum, but also with various altcoins, which is very interesting. And you can see here, Ethereum has basically picked up everything that was very interesting. And yet we've still gone further down and at this point have reached the $4,000 mark, which is considered an interesting price zone. And even if we take a look here at the large trades, of course, we also look at that for Ethereum. Because remember, I said that at 3,500, there would actually be quite a few new orders from the whale orders. If I scroll down here, you can really see that more and more is building up below us now. What I just don't see yet, the 3,500, yes, there really is a lot there. It actually goes all the way down to 3,400. You can see everything is completely green here. If we maybe compare that again with the analytics, just in the price range from just under 3,500 down to 3,300, there would be about 250 million at this point, just in this area, waiting on long orders. You can see that here. This is the futures area here, and 50 million in spot repurchases. But if we now add up everything below us that is currently there, it's a little over 700 million. But here we're only talking about Binance. We shouldn't forget that other exchanges also have quite a bit lying around, of course. That means we have a lot of support volume in long orders below us, which also carries the risk that we will keep getting stopped out again and again in order to liquidate all the new longs until they eventually get desperate. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we have more or less a divergence everywhere. I think we just saw it with Bitcoin on the smaller time frame. Was it here after this drop? Exactly here. Now I've zoomed in a bit. We have a falling price, which is contrasted by, and this is on the 4-hour chart, so it's already very, very valid, an increasing RSI. We'll now see whether this consolidation is enough for us to get a pump, maybe with tomorrow's market open, or maybe even today on Sunday. Or whether we actually crash again and this divergence at the bottom gets a bit bigger, because it's possible that we simply say, let's make it bigger, the market goes even lower, maybe test this area here again, liquidates a few more longs, the RSI looks for support here again, and then we rise afterwards. Unfortunately, you can never really say that in advance. But now, as I've seen in several cases, you can see it here too. In the hourly chart, it's been there as well that we have a sharply falling price, and here again, exactly the same. A sharply falling price with a rising RSI. And those are exactly the kinds of reversal opportunities where you say there should slowly but surely be a bottom forming so that we can play that out. In this case, I had already played that out a bit in the 1-hour chart, but since yesterday we've just been consolidating. That's completely normal. There's not much trading volume on Saturdays, but maybe that will change in the next few days. Accordingly, I'm still positioned the same as before. And to wrap up, a quick look at the trading pods, since I always share those with you. At least I shared it before, but not for a long time now, and I've opened a $50,000 trading pod, and I just want to quickly share that with you again now. Spot martingale, so you all stay up to date here as well. Overall, I think it's a bit in the red right now, if I'm not mistaken. Exactly, you can see that here. I got a few more vouchers again, as I can see here. But here, this is the $51,000 bot, and it's currently down $36. But if it hits the take profit, I think I'd have almost $200 in profit. The other one is also still a bit in the red. And then I also have the private account. Right now, a few trading bots are in the red here, but most of these are futures DCA bots. Just like I presented them on my channel. The 100% passive income trading on autopilot, I also use those on PIONEX. Unfortunately, you can't see them active here. I have 5 times and 10 times leverage. Bots open with Ethereum using that, and they're also just waiting to hit their take profit. But I'd say that's it for Sunday now. Prepare yourselves a bit with the trades I showed you. At the moment, there isn't anything else I've discovered. If there's something I find, if I do find something, I'll share it on Telegram. I've got a bit of a longer drive ahead of me now, and during that, I'll look for some new possible trade setups on my smartphone. And if I see anything, of course, you'll be informed. Show a little support. I would really appreciate it. See you next time.